having me.
All right, have a seat.
Sure.
This one was ordered by my
That's way too much.
Trying to do things together.
Hello everybody, welcome to MNB World Talk Show. Our today's guest is a lady who has created a very interesting psychological product named Boombox. She is a psychologist and the head of product development department at NPC and Mandal LLC. Well, this beautiful lady sitting beside me is Delgermend, Tserendamba. So you graduated from the psychological department at University of Minnesota.
Yes.
In 2012, which is 7 years ago. Why did you choose psychology in the first place from all kinds of different majors?
Sure. Actually, my first profession I was going for is accountant.
Accountant?
Yeah, at the National University of Mongolia. I studied there for a semester and then decided to pursue psychology. And then, applied for the schools and then went to University of Minnesota. But the reason I chose this profession was that I graduated from Darhang, and in Darhang you would see so many alcoholic people lying, outside.
Lying on the
yeah,
streets.
sleeping outside, and I've always been heartbroken by that scene. It's not nice, they have family, they have kids, and I've always asked myself.
They're not homeless, but alcoholics.
Yes, they would have a home, I assume, but
just because of alcohol addiction,
yes,
they are lying on the street,
yes.
passed out. Okay.
And then that saddened my heart, let's say. And then I wanted to do something for the families. That's why I chose, my major is one psychology and the other one is family social science. So I chose to reach many people through their family. So couple counseling is my passion, and I do also management coaching and trainings, and that's how I became a psychology.
So just because of that scene, you pursued psychology. But that is this is very interesting aspect because you saw this kind of problem and you wanted to solve it.
Yes.
Well, as a psychologist working in this field for the last 7 years, I wanted to ask, on what stage is the development of science of psychology in Mongolia now?
Okay, so the science of psychology have two aspects in it. First is academic, which has lots of research in it, and then the other one is the practical side of it, right? So I pursue my counseling and practice more often, but I do have some research in my company, so we do research a lot. But in terms of whole science in Mongolia, I would say it's very just at the beginning,
The beginning stage.
Stage of development. But I mean, if you see the teachers who are teaching at the psychological departments at this moment, they have graduated from the best universities in Russia, during the Soviet time. So since then,
During the Soviet time. So these teachers are middle-aged teachers.
Yes, most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we need another huge change in our psychological science. Who need, who are graduated from not only states but also, Korea is big place, and China is huge, and Japan and Europe is huge on the psychological research. So we need more academics in this field. And at this moment, our research is, there are a few research going published abroad, but we need more. So I would say we need more development in our research side. For the practical side, even though there are not many independent counselors, but the ones who pursue this field are very much qualified. Even I do work at the National Psychological Center, and then they provide lots of counseling to individual kids, couples. So we train our psychologists within the company, and they graduate from abroad. So, I mean, we try to keep as much as professional as the international level.
Well, it is a tradition to introduce you through your photos and resume to our audience. Let's take a look at that and get back. Well, very interesting resume and photos.
Thank you.
Well, okay. So you have brought this
box.
product, full box.
Yes.
Tell us about this product. I don't even know what's inside. It's my first time looking at it.
So do you want to open this?
Yes, let's open this.
Sure. All right.
Full box.
Can you see the symbol in here?
Ah, there's a key. There's a traditional Mongolian
Mongolian key.
lock key, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's inside?
So there are 3 things inside. Okay, I'll just
Three things.
Three
okay.
things,
Three
pieces.
pieces.
Let's
Okay.
say. So so before introducing the whole thing, I'll just say what this box is for, right?
Yes. Yes. What's
So
the box?
This box is for managers.
Managers.
Yes. So it's the managers. They need to be very productive in order to have success in their company or in their career, right?
In their careers, yes.
Yes, exactly. And then so when they are working, we understood there are 3 things they're doing in the wrong way, with the
Okay.
mistaken thoughts. Let's say
Okay.
mistaken thoughts. There's some mistakes in
Okay.
their thoughts, right?
Okay.
So we wanted to put everything in together and then just provide this to managers so they don't need to spend their money, too much money on counseling or too much time on workshop. So it's just very independent and your own pace. You can just use in your home or you can just use in your workplace.
So this is kind of a psychological shortcut for managers.
Exactly.
Yeah?
You just named it perfectly.
Okay.
We were saying it's psychological tools for the managers, but
Okay.
you just say it's shortcut, which is so awesome.
Okay.
So there are 3 things. This is just a meeting notes, and every
meeting
time we tell a manager to just talk with your employee, listen to your employee. They don't do it. They're just like, oh, I've talked with him, and what did your employees say to you? And then they're like, oh, I told all the things they need to do. They don't listen to employee. So we wanted to make sure that managers need to ask all the questions in here and feel everything
From the employers.
from the employees, right? So the manager's job is just to listen to the employees once a year at least.
Once a year, at least.
At least,
Come on,
or
managers.
once in 6 months.
Okay.
So we're making sure just fill this out,
More often the better, right?
Not exactly.
Not exactly?
At least 6 hours of period is good, because often it's like employees don't have much time to do their task or homework. You need to see the improvement between the meetings.
So that's for that.
That's for that, and it's different than conference meetings, right? It's like one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And this one, okay. So I want to ask this question.
Okay.
Okay, so in terms of planning your life, do you start from now, or the time itself, like as a present, or do you start from the end of your life? Which is like a huge question.
That's very psychological.
We were naming it like
philosophical. Even.
Philosophical, yes. Where do you start from?
Where do I
from the
start?
end or from
my life plan?
Yes,
like
for your
milestones,
life plan.
or I
Yes,
want to do this. Well, I start from the present. I
Present.
think, yes, from where I am now.
Okay.
Yes.
That's where most of the depression or burnout comes up.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So
How would I know when I die?
That's a trick for Mongolian men.
Okay.
My next project would be like extending Mongolian men's average lifespan.
Lifespan?
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be my next
Sounds
project.
good. Okay, what's
So
this?
what happens is that, okay, let's say this is 30 to 60 years old.
Aha.
And this is the time when you manage other people. Before 30, you just manage yourself, right?
Okay.
And after 60, you just advise to people, not like really managing people, right? So this is like 30 years of managing others. So what you're saying is, how old are you, can I ask? You can say anything. You can just like any
okay,
number.
32.
32.
I'll be honest, yes.
Yes,
32.
you're 32. Okay, so give me just one goal that you're thinking. Just within 2 years, what do you want to
Within 2 years?
Yeah, accomplish.
A new baby.
Okay, okay, that's like
I'm talking too much on camera. okay.
that's
let's
what
say new baby.
happens when you talk to psychologists. You just there tell everything. So maybe within 2 years, let's say something company based, like corporate or
company-based.
productivity based.
Okay, I can just make up something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. To find a big investor.
Oh, sure. That would be awesome. So within 2 years, right?
Within 2 years.
Okay.
A big investor, but one big investor, not small investors. Okay, whatever.
That's very good. So what happens is that for the last 7 years, I've realized that all this depression and burnout comes from giving a task for yourself. Like, our brain is very complex. Whatever task our brain takes has a deadline. So let's say it's like you're looking for an investor, right? Big investor, but it has a deadline of 2 years. So just by 34. And then what happens is once you are done with that task, your brain and body may go in two different ways. Because your brain is going to say, oh, I accomplished my task. I'm done working on the investment part. But your body is going to keep going.
Yes.
So what happens is that's where clinical we call it depression, because our mind and body are not integrated but working in separate ways. It's like your mind says, I completed my task, so I need another task, or I need to extend that investment part into another 5 years or 3 years, right? So that's what happens to managers. Like they start from the present and they say, oh, I'm gonna be very good manager. I'm gonna put all my effort for 3 years. That's it. They don't plan what you're going to do after that. So what happens is like 3 years is gone, and then mind says, okay, I'm done working, but body keeps going. And then if you listen to some managers, they're saying, I just lost myself. I can't find myself. I need to renew myself. I need to find something. And then they go like that for another 2 years. They're wasting their years. So I was keep thinking, okay, there is something like with the deadline, and then deadline, we don't really talk about it. It's like in our unconscious mind. So we need to bring it up, we need to write it down and bring it up. And then, so for the present, planning is kind of, if it's giving us the depressional side, then let's start from the end. Let's start from the future. Like, okay, let's say this is not really like the end of the life. It's just for the management part. So until 60, what I'm gonna do until then, right, as a manager. But instead of saying, okay, I'm gonna do all these 10 tasks by the end of my management time, we're gonna dividing all the years into levels of 5 years in each. Okay. So there are 6 levels. So instead of the big question, we're saying, what are the 6 things you would like to accomplish in your life? So they can be, 2 can be in media industry for you maybe, and then another one can be like in finance, or another one can be in movie, So it's very important for people to define 6 big things, or 6 big industries, or 6 big accomplishments you would like to see in your own life,
In your career life.
Exactly. Instead of just saying, oh, I'm gonna be, working very hard for just 3 years, that just gives us
vagueness, being like vagueness.
Vague.
Gives us stress.
And then after that we need to renew it, and we don't know we need to renew it. We don't know how our brain is functioning, but our brain likes to solve problems. It likes to keep working on something.
So to be active all the time.
That's what it does.
Yes, that's what it does, yes.
Exactly.
And that's where we need meditation.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
Okay,
And
so
then
on the other side,
for each year, people think that, oh, my work position is very important. I need to just only focus on this. But in order to have very balanced life, we need to focus on all of these 8 fields.
aspects, eight fields.
Yes,
okay,
8 fields.
That's workspace, that's
This
social.
is professional responsibility on social involvement and education, training, rewards, hobby, skills. So, okay, here's the thing. So when we are doing the 6 things, right? And then for most of the times, people think, oh, for the training and rewards, my director is gonna give me that. I'm not the one who decides on what kind of reward I'm gonna get.
That's what Mongolians usually do and think.
Exactly. So these 8 fields are the ones we need to choose every 5 years.
So you can award yourself.
Or you can just decide, I'm going to get this award, and then you work
Go
so
for it.
hard. Yeah, that's
see.
like Boombox is trying to do as well. Okay, so this is like
Very smart, huh?
so it just came up out of our training and workshops and
based on all of your experience and researches.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the third one? That's very
my gosh,
interesting.
okay.
Calendar or no, it is like a life plan calendar,
This one is life plan calendar, right? 30 years. This one is for like your 24 hours, like have to manage your 24 hours,
Wow.
For managers, sometimes everyone has a behavior that you would like to bring into your life. And also there's another behavior you would like to take it out of your life, right? So
for example, quit smoking.
Exactly, that's a big behavior that everyone is trying to work on. But so instead of, okay, here's the thing. I'm going to explain how we think in a wrong way first.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to go for like how we should think, right?
Okay.
So first of all, what we do is that whenever we plan to have some behavior, we always search through our 24 hours. Which hour is more free, Am I free on 6 p.m. or am I free on 7 a.m.? And then if we are not free, then we try to make it like, oh, I'm going to get up and remember some words at 5 a.m., which no one does, right? That's most of the fails comes up. So we need to understand, first of all of the 24 hours is already booked. We need to understand it. And if we want to bring some new behavior, we need to make free space first in order to take that behavior, right? So all the behaviors are divided into 3 main categories.
Okay.
For example, this is work 8 hours.
Working 8 hours, okay.
Productivity 8 hours, right? And this is goal 12 hours. If you have any goals, you can only do that between from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. You cannot be just remembering all the words at 5 a.m. You would, so it has to be a part of your everyday life. Just part of your default behavior.
These are all based on scientific research, right?
Or based on my experience or based on my research, because I've seen so many times people try so hard for learning English or losing some weight, and they try to squeeze some behavior into some time or hours that they are so completely busy. So we need to we need to understand first what is that behavior lie into what category. So this is productivity, and then this is purpose, and this is active 16 hours. This is where we spend our time in home.
At home.
So why we named it active is that because we are mostly spend the time inactively, just lying on the couch or just watching or just scrolling down our Facebook, right? So we wanted to make sure that this 16 hours is one of the activist hour in your life. So just one trick is that, again, just this one was very simple, right?
Yeah,
just
this was like big picture of life.
Exactly, and then just instead of planning from the present, plan from the furthest. That was the main trick. for this one, we always look through the 24 hours or just
Yes.
like trying to find the time, right? So instead of trying to find the time, let's just focus on the behavior first. What is the one behavior you would like to bring in your life? Define that behavior first. If you have like 30 minutes, what is the thing that you would like to do?
For me, yoga in the morning.
I mean, do you have experience in doing yoga?
No, I want to. I want to have
So you need a teacher
yoga
first.
behavior. I can do it on YouTube. I mean, I can look it up on YouTube.
We can have a counseling session on that.
Later. Okay.
Yes. So maybe you want to do 30 minutes of yoga, right? So what time are you thinking that behavior can go into? Where?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
In the morning, maybe around
7
7
a.m.?
o'clock. Yeah, 7
What
a.m.
time do you get up?
6:30ish.
Okay.
But it
okay.
differs depending.
Differs till 7:30.
Yes. Sometimes I put my snooze and
See, that's the thing. First of all, in order to take or bring any behavior, we need to understand what kind of life we live in at this moment. What are the default behavior we have at this moment? Do I really get up at 6:30 or do I really get up at 7:30? So you're saying, this is like trials, you know. So for December or November, you can just say doing yoga for 30 minutes at 7:30 to 8 a.m. And then so we'll just put this on the refrigerator and then just be reminded by it. But the good thing is that we're making an application on our product. So it's going to have a reminder on it. So you can just, if you use our application, you'll just be reminded by the behavior
nice,
and then the time with this. So for this one, just is more like paper-based. So you can just draw in it and then just be committed to this behavior. So the trick is just instead of searching the hour, just define the behavior first and find the hour after that.
this is for the people who likes good old paper-based books and stuff, huh?
Yeah, that's why we
Just like
wanted to
me.
make sure that there's a digital version and then there's
And
another
also this paper-based
paper-based. Yeah, I like the
Well,
paper
very
one.
interesting. Well, this product, I saw from this research, this product has been selected for the Web Summit
Yes.
conference, which is the world's #1 for the technology sector, right?
Yes,
Web Summit.
it's the largest one.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you are going to Web Summit, and then what's the plan afterwards? What are you planning? What's the big dream here?
That's a big question again because so I'm a scientist or researcher and psychologist. Now I'm going into startup field and it's whole new industry and I have very little knowledge about it. So just in terms of the using this product for the people in the world has a huge potential. So like I said, we have application version. So we're targeting to corporates first. And after that, we want to go for couples and child discipline like this, you know,
Yes,
it's like
yes,
couple
yes.
box and child discipline box. So we're going to go for retail. So it's not only like designed for Mongolians, it's designed for the whole world.
Humans.
Because humans, everyone, because mental health is huge problem, not only in corporate, but also in family relationship.
yes.
So we would like to give the tools that they need so that people can just solve the problems on their own.
Very nice. Well, it is very new concept and very interesting concept. This is my first time hearing products.
Thank you so much.
There could be a product like this.
Yeah, there could be a product. That's
Okay.
the
Well,
best.
anyway, as you know, we have taken a video footage of the Fullbox application team.
Yes.
And let's show it to our audience, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
divide my work hours into two sessions. First is couple counseling and management coaching, and the second is full box project. And for the couple counseling and management coaching, the number of people coming to counseling is increasing every year. For example, 3 years ago, out of families, like usually wives and women used to seek counseling sessions. Nowadays, more both husband and wife, they seek counseling session, and both of them come to the session. So it's very good sign that people are, general public are more leaning toward scientific support other than religious or spiritual or maybe friends support. So it's very good to have a professional service in their couple relationship.
Wow, very enthusiastic, very strong team there.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and
Thank
good
you
luck
so
with
much.
all
Thank
of your
you.
future endeavors,
Thank you so
especially on
much.
this web summit, yes?
Thank you so much.
Well, we've talked about full box, we've talked about psychology, we haven't talked about in detail about you. Because
Okay.
the talk show is about personal stories.
Sure,
and
sure.
what kind of child were you?
I
Or,
was.
I mean, can you share some best memories of your childhood with our audience?
Okay, my best memory is spending my summer with my grandmother.
Ah.
That's the best memory. And my mom would bring lots of dresses, so I would wear them in countryside. So thinking that I'm very princess-like
The
girl.
doll girl.
Yeah, all the
Girl.
girls. And then my grandma took very well care of me, and she's the one I think who gave all the confidence in me, and I hope she still looks after me.
Can you give a very detailed image of your dream for Mongolia and Mongolian society?
Wow, that's very bright for me.
Okay.
Mongolian future is very bright.
Give us some detail.
Okay, so
Related, it can be related with your profession, with psychology or anything, but we want detail.
So the detail would be it's like I can visually we can see that air pollution is going down. So which is huge. Imagination just came true this year, right? So within maybe next 10 years, just because we have very skilled people and Mongolians have very good skills and we adjust to something very fast. So with this knowledge, my imagination is to export so much intelligence knowledge to the world. We have so much to export in culture-wise and skill-wise and knowledge-wise. So full box is just example of that, and we would like to be lead on that, just to export not only mining, not only other factory-based products, but just to export our mind.
To export, to
Yes.
sell our minds.
Exactly.
Let's stop selling some coals and
Exactly,
gold, right?
yeah. Our
Okay.
mind can have more price than the coal, maybe.
Very right, very interesting. Well, thank you very much,
Thank you so much
Ms.
for having
Delgermend.
me.
It's been pleasure knowing you, pleasure talking to you. It's been very interesting because psychology is interesting itself, like right? And thank you and good luck again.
Thank you so
with
much.
everything you're doing.
Thank you so much for everyone for having me. Thank you so much.
I'm sure you loved our conversation, and I loved our conversation. This is the end of our talk show, this episode, and we will see you with our next episode next week. Until then, goodbye.